You're 24. You made a mistake back in Chicago. Not the kind of mistake you can fix with an apology or a good lawyer. You owe money to people who don't send collection letters. They send men with baseball bats. You aren't wanted by Interpol. You checked. But if you stay in the US, you are a dead man. You need to disappear. You need a place where your past doesn't matter, where your debts are erased, and where you can become a ghost. You read about a place on a late-night forum, a military-free force that takes in the broken, the desperate, and the running. You buy a one-way ticket to Paris. You have one small bag, your passport, and $50 in your pocket. You take a train to Fort de Nogent, one of the recruiting centers. You walk up to the heavy gates. A man in a crisp uniform and a white kepi looks at you. You hand over your passport. You just traded your old life for a new one. Welcome to the French Foreign Legion. Level 1, the recruit. The first thing they do is take away everything that makes you, you. Your passport, your clothes, your phone. They give you a tracksuit and a new name. You are no longer an American from Chicago. According to the paperwork, you are now a francophone from Canada. This is the anonymat, the declared identity. You are sent to Aubagne, the main selection center. For weeks, you are tested. Psychological evaluations, medical exams, and the notorious Luc Leisure beep test. You run back and forth across a 20-meter line until your lungs feel like they are bleeding. You see a Russian guy collapse. You see a guy from Brazil pack his bags. The Legion officially accepts about 10 to 15 out of every 100 applicants. You are desperate enough to be one of them. You pass. You sign a mandatory 5-year contract. They send you to the 4th Foreign Regiment in Castelnaudary for basic training. The first phase is called the farm. You don't sleep. You don't rest. You are screamed at by corporals who speak French, a language you don't understand. But you learn it quickly, because every mistake is punished with push-ups. You learn French phonetically, shouting out words while holding a plank position in the mud. You share a room with a guy from Poland, a guy from Japan, and a guy from Madagascar. None of you can speak to each other perfectly, but the suffering is a universal language. You are stripped down to nothing so the Legion can rebuild you into a weapon. Level 2. Legionnaire 2E class. You've survived a month of hell, but the real test is here. The Marche Kepi Blanc. A 50-kilometer march through the rugged terrain of southern France, wearing full combat gear, carrying a 60-pound rucksack, and gripping your FAMAS assault rifle. You march for 2 days. Your feet are a mess of burst blisters and blood. Your shoulders are bruised. When you cross the finish line, you are dead on your feet. But you stand at attention. The commander places the iconic white cap, the Kepi Blanc, on your head. You recite the Legionnaire's code of honor in perfect French. Légionnaire, tu es un volontaire, servant la France avec honneur et fidélité. Légionnaire. You are a volunteer serving France with honor and loyalty. You are no longer a recruit. You are a legionnaire. Your pay is 1,572s a month, plus free food and a bed. You are assigned to the 2nd Foreign Parachute Regiment, 2E Rep, based in Calvi, Corsica. The 2E Rep is legendary, tracing its origins back to the fierce battles of Indochina and Algeria. They are the elite of the elite. Your daily life is brutal. You wake up at 5 a.m. You iron your uniform perfectly. If there is a single crease out of place, your sergeant throws your entire locker out the window. You jump out of planes, you train in close-quarters combat, you march. The Legion marches at 88 steps per minute, the crawl, much slower than the regular French Army's 116 steps. But that slow, deliberate pace feels unstoppable. You are part of a machine now. Level 3, the corporal. You've been in for over a year. You've kept your head down, passed your technical exams, and showed you don't crack under pressure. The command selects you for the Caporal Fut-Fut course. It's a leadership track. You are no longer the one scrubbing the floors. You are the one ordering the scrubbing. You are deployed on your first overseas mission to French Guiana, attached to the 3rd Foreign Infantry Regiment, 3 REI. Your mission isn't glorious combat. You are deep in the Amazon jungle, guarding the Guiana Space Center, and hunting down heavily armed illegal gold miners. The jungle is a nightmare. The humidity is 95%. Every insect wants to bite you. Every plant is toxic. You sleep in hammocks, constantly wet, constantly on edge. One night, your patrol ambushes a gold miner supply boat. Gunfire erupts in the pitch black of the canopy. You don't think. Your training takes over. You return fire with your HK-4 Swung-C F rifle, shouting orders to your men in French. It's chaotic, loud, and terrifying. The smoke clears, the miners have fled, leaving their equipment behind. You check your men. Everyone is safe. You realize something in the silence of the jungle. The man you were in Chicago is completely dead. You are a caporal of the French Foreign Legion. These men from 140 different countries are your brothers. Legio Patria Nostra, the Legion is our fatherland. It's not just a motto anymore. It's your reality. Level 4, the Sergeant. 3 years pass. You are promoted to sergeant, a non-commissioned officer, NCO. You account for a vital part of the Legion's discipline. You've done your paperwork. You applied for rectification. The Legion investigated your past, found out you weren't wanted for murder or terrorism, and gave you back your real identity. You are an American citizen again. But more importantly, because you have served 3 years with honor and fidelity, you are eligible to apply for French citizenship. You are deployed to Mali in West Africa for Operation Serval. The heat of the Sahel is blinding. You are in an armored vehicle, leading a section of young legionnaires. An improvised explosive device, ID, detonates under your convoy. The shockwave rattles your teeth. Dust blinds you. Insurgents open fire from a ridgeline. You kick the door open and drag a wounded Polish legionnaire to cover. A bullet grazes your shoulder, tearing through the flesh. You barely feel it. You call in suppressive fire and hold the line until air support arrives. You wake up in a military hospital in Paris. A French general pins a medal on your chest. Because you bled for France, you are immediately granted citizenship under the law of Français par le sang versé, French by spilled blood. You came to this country as a fugitive. Now you are a decorated citizen of the Republic. But you don't leave. You sign another 5-year contract. Where else would you go? This is the only world that makes sense now. Level 5, Adjutant Chef. You are 38 years old. You've been in the Legion for 14 years. You hold the rank of Adjutant Chef. You are a god to the new recruits. Your dress uniform tells the story of your life. The iconic white kepi is gone, replaced by the dark blue and red kepi of senior NCOs. You wear the green and red epaulettes, the blue sash, ceinture blue, tightly wrapped around your waist, and on your left sleeve, multiple downward-pointing gold chevrons. Each chevron represents 5 years of brutal, unforgiving service. You are stationed back in Aubagne at the 1st Foreign Regiment, 1er RE, the headquarters. You are the enforcer of tradition. It is your job to ensure the younger generation understands the blood they are inheriting. Every April 30th, you stand at rigid attention for Cameroon Day. You tell the new men the story of Captain John d'Anjou. Mexico, 1863. 62 legionnaires surrounded by 3,000 Mexican troops. They ran out of food, they ran out of water, they ran out of ammunition. But they fixed bayonets and charged, fighting to the last man. You look at the glass case holding Captain d'Anjou's wooden prosthetic hand, the Legion's most sacred relic. You look at the faces of the young men from Russia, from Brazil, from Nepal, from America. You see the same desperation in their eyes that you had 14 years ago. You don't coddle them. You push them until they break, so you can build them back up. You know that the discipline you drill into them today is the only thing that will keep them alive in the deserts of Africa tomorrow. Level 6, Capitaine. Most commissioned officers in the Legion are French regulars who graduated from elite military academies, but about 10% of the officers are former NCOs promoted from the ranks. You are one of them. You wear the gold rings of a capitaine. You command a company of 150 men. Your office is filled with tactical maps, logistics reports, and operational files. You are responsible for their lives, their pay, and their psychological well-being. When a 19-year-old kid from Ukraine wants to desert because he misses his mother, you are the one who sits him down. You don't threaten him with prison. You tell him your story. You tell him about Chicago, about the debt, about the fear. You tell him that the pain he is feeling right now is the weakness leaving his body. You tell him that if he runs, he will be running for the rest of his life. He stays. You are making executive decisions in combat zones. You coordinate with French special forces and intelligence agencies. You have real power, but with it comes an agonizing weight. When you lose a man in combat, you are the one who writes the letter to a family thousands of miles away, in a language they might not even read. You are the one who stands over the coffin when the Legion sings Le Boudin, the traditional marching song, played by the Legion's band. You stand at attention, swallowing the grief, because a capitaine does not cry. Level 7, the Pioneer. This isn't a higher command rank, but it is the highest traditional honor an enlisted man can achieve. You are approaching the end of your career. You've seen combat, you've commanded men, but the command selects you to join the Pioneers. The Pioneers are the combat engineers, the traditional sappers, who opened the way for the infantry during the Napoleonic Wars. To be a pioneer, you must grow a massive, thick beard. For a parade, you wear a heavy leather apron, thick leather gloves, and you carry a massive, polished wood-cutting axe on your shoulder. It is Bastille Day in Paris, July 14th. Hundreds of thousands of people line the Champs-Élysées. The entire French military is parading, but the Foreign Legion always marches last because of your slow, deliberate 88 steps per minute pace. You are at the very front of the Legion formation. You are opening the way. The crowd goes completely silent as the Legion approaches. There is no fast, flashy marching, just a slow, menacing, synchronized thud of boots on the pavement. The crowd erupts into applause. You look straight ahead. Beneath the beard, beneath the leather apron, you are a man who came to France with nothing but a target on his back. Now, you are the face of the most feared and respected fighting force on Earth. Level 8. The General. You didn't start at the bottom. You didn't come to Aubagne with a fake passport and a desperate story. You are a Général de Brigade of the regular French army. But right now, you are the Colonel, the commander of the French Foreign Legion. You sit in the Supreme Headquarters in Aubagne. You command 9,000 soldiers spread across the globe. You have cavalry regiments, airborne regiments, engineering regiments, and infantry. You look at the map on your wall. Your men are deployed in French Guiana, securing the Space Center. In Mayotte, preventing illegal immigration. In Africa, conducting anti-terror operations. And in mainland France, guarding the streets. You are not a foreigner, but you hold the fate of thousands of foreigners in your hands. You know that these men are essentially mercenaries, fighting for a flag that is not their own. But you also know that their loyalty to the Legion is stronger than any nationality. You read the disciplinary reports. You read the casualty lists. You manage the delicate politics between the Legion and the French government. The politicians sometimes view the Legion as disposable, foreigners fighting foreign wars. But you defend your men. You fight for their funding, their equipment, ensuring they get the new HK-466F rifles, the Spectra ballistic helmets, and the Faline combat systems. You walk out onto the parade ground at Aubagne. You stand before the monument to the dead. The gold portions of the globe mark every country where legionnaires have died. It is inscribed, La Legion a ses morts, from the Legion to its dead. You look at the ranks of men standing before you. Criminals, runaways, idealists, and warriors from 140 different countries. They have no shared history, no shared religion, and no shared race. The only thing that binds them together is the mud, the blood, and the white kepi. They are the French Foreign Legion, and you are their commander.